Welcome back to LEGO Wars and Heat G of the series. Last time out we had a flipping frenzy as Pegasus threw the opposition head over heels to win the heat. This week we begin the second half of the heats and the return of last year's international finalist King B Cubed as the 12th seed who rumour has it might be retiring at the end of this series. They will have tough opposition tonight though, as their fellow steed is the destructive Megalovania back with another new design alongside the hammersaw Scorpios who visited their heavyweight counterparts in the off-season. Let's see who else will join them tonight.
First, from Portsmouth and seed number 12, King B Cubed.
The veteran lifter was on a roll right up until the bracket last year and since then hasn't won a fight and will need to turn that tide if this is to be their last tango.
From and seed number 13, Megalovania.
After leaving a path of destruction on the way to the top 16 last year, Megalovania have once again brought out a new iteration, this time to maximise weapon engagement from that devastating bone bar.
From Moraga, California, Scorpios.
Scorpios are out for revenge tonight after controversially not being selected for the play-ins last year. They'll be hoping the team talk with their heavyweight counterparts will spur them to victory.
From Dallas, Texas, Switchback.
New to the LEGO Warzone, Switchback is another bot from the new wave of articulating vertical spinners, and with the same drivetrain as earlier winners Kraken, they could pull off a surprise result.
From Amana, Egypt, thwacking.
The thwacking machine was a surprise visitor to the bracket last year, but in a heat of big reach machines it's going to be tough to repeat that success. Let's kick off the second half of the heats with our first fight tonight between King B Cubed and Switchback.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Interesting looking newcomers here, Switchback. They've got that spinning drum on the lifting arms, looks effective, not too sure how well it's going to do here though against King B Cubed, the number 12 seed for this series. Very, very experienced machine this one. Has been around since day one of LEGO Wars and has lifted up Switchback there, and I think one of Switchback's wheels has already come off. Yes, it has. Now that could be a telling sign for what could happen later on in this heat with Switchback. If the wheels keep falling off, they could be in serious problems. Don't forget, we saw that happening with Chompy in the earlier championships earlier on in this year. They managed to fix them for their heat, but they were a recurring issue, and that could be one for Switchback as they hit the pit button now. So they must still have some good pushing power. They're going to go for the pit button. Good tactic. Good little lift there by King B Cubed. Don't forget, King B Cubed made it to the round of 32 in the last Wars. Lost there to Kronzblow, seeded 12th due to its international success. They came second last year in the International Championships, if I remember correctly, being pushed backwards though by Switchback, who are now hoping to bring down that terrifyingly powerful spinning drum. But good work there by King B Cubed to use the forks to block it and push it away. The screws in the corners spinning. Hopefully they will be used in this battle. Good driving there by King B Cubed, but being pushed back once again by Switchback. Despite the fact it's only got 3 wheels, it has got some good pushing power. But there, King B Cubed lifting him in the air and pushing him back as well. Good little tussle this one so far. Both machines very evenly matched at the moment. Down comes that spinning drum once again of Switchback. It's a very unique and interesting design. A LEGO version of the BattleBots competitor of the same name. Don't forget, they've had reasonable success over there in America, hoping now to take the LEGO Wars arena here in Blighty by storm. But another wheel's come off. Well, they're shedding wheels like it's going out of fashion here at the moment. King B Cubed certainly, in my opinion, is on top with the judges just simply because of that fact. Managing to get those lifting forks jammed in there again. Trying to get underneath Switchback. Not managing to. They couldn't quite lever them over, although one of those side wedges has now been pried away. And I think Switchback's drum is also unbalanced. It was certainly shaking and rattling around there for a second. It seems to be okay now, though. Good slam there once again by King B Cubed. They're definitely on the more aggressive here, if you ask me as well. If it goes to the judges, this one could well go to the judges. Nothing overtly decisive has been done yet, but both machines giving it a good go. Very evenly matched despite their different designs. The screws nearly coming into action there, courtesy of Switchback. King B Cubed reversing into them. That was terrible control. The judges will take note of that, and that has allowed Switchback to pin them in the corner now for the final seconds of this battle. It's going to go to the judges. Good pushback there by King B Cubed at the end. I'm not too sure who's won that one. Going to have to take a look at the highlights and see if we can decipher it. King B Cubed certainly was the more controlled throughout and had the added advantage that its wheels stayed on. Under no pressure they were, those wheels, yet they still came off, and that will definitely be something the judges will take note of. Switchback, they did a little bit of damage to the top armour of King BQ, but for the most part they spent a lot of it being pushed around, and that weapon of theirs, whilst interesting, didn't get any majorly good hits in. For me, this could just about be King BQ's, but I'm not a judge. It's time for us to find out what they think.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, is King B Cubed. A very close fight to start tonight, but it's the old lift who did just enough to take their first competition win this year. Next up is the revamped 13th seeds Megalovania against their fellow big wheeler thwacking.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
This could be a fun battle between two really good robots here. thwacking the first to move, going absolutely crazy. We'd expect nothing less from them, of course. Meanwhile, Megalovania driving into the arena sidewall. That wasn't very good control. Not managing to get their spinner up to speed here either. They're seed number 13. Will it be unlucky for them? I wonder. thwacking, meanwhile, driving into the screws. What's going on here? This has been a terrible start from both these machines. They've both been going all over the place. No real major hits have been done at all so far. Megalovania now finally bringing the spinner in. Completely rebuilt since the last wars, don't forget. And again, there wasn't much of it left from the last wars after their encounter with 23 Red in the round of 16. One of the more violent encounters you've ever seen in LEGO Wars. thwacking weapon chain has already come off. Now, we know that's a reoccurring issue. They claim it's because they want it to be a thwacking device and not a spinning device. I think it's because they're absolutely insane, but hey, who am I to judge? Megalovania's spinner finally seems to be getting up to speed. Now that's the kind of speed we want to see from a weapon like Megalovania. Now, they only can get the control in there so they can actually land in the hits, because at the moment they can't seem to strike the machine in a straight line. They've driven backwards into the arena side wall. They've managed to hit everything but their opponent here, and it's not looking very good for them. thwacking, whilst it lacks control, has at least been aggressive enough and has at least got some hits in on its opponent. Megalovania, you're seeded 13th. What are you doing, lads? You've been absolutely dismal thus far, finally getting a hit in and taking off the spinner and part of the thwacking arm of thwacking, which is just going all over the place. Oh! Another huge hit there. Finally some damage being done courtesy of the spinner of Megalovania. You have to give weapon effectiveness to them at the moment. Mainly just due to the fact that it's actually got a weapon that does something. Megalovania was flicked over there, though. That means that spinner of theirs is now spinning downwards. Will that be a control issue for them as this battle goes on? I certainly think so. Trying to use it almost like a spinning hammer now rather than a vertical spinning bar. They have managed to return the spinner, though. They've managed to reverse the spinning on it, so now it is spinning upwards again. thwacking wheel looking a little bit wonky there, if you ask me. Oh, it has been completely split in half! Now that was the first really truthful, meaningful attack from Megalovania, and I think it's decisive enough in order to get them a victory here. Then again, thwacking are still moving out of their circumference just barely, which means that does count as a mobility. So Megalovania's going to have to do some more damage to it in order to get a KO win. How on earth is it still doing this? I've never seen a robot be split in half completely and survive like this. We're going down to the judges as well, because Megalovania have not managed to take advantage of this situation.
6.
Cool. It's going to go to the judges. I think the decision's going to be pretty clear-cut, but let's see what the judges think. I have absolutely no idea what we just witnessed there. Both machines really seem to be struggling with reception issues or something, because both of them could barely come into contact with one another. thwacking was certainly on the aggressive front for the most part. If anything, I felt Megalovania was a little bit disappointing. We expected so much, and we only saw 3 majorly big hits. The one that took the weapon off, that one there, and then the major one, this one, which split thwacking in 2. It wasn't enough to kill it, but surely it was enough to get the judge's nod. Surely.
And the winner, in a fight with zero control by unanimous decision, is Megalovania. Although they can now claim the achievement of the first robot to expose batteries in LEGO Wars, Megalovania laboured to that win and needs to show more control in their next fight. Next into the arena is Scorpio, starting their campaign against the 12 seeds.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Good to see Scorpios back in the LEGO Wars arena. They've always flattered to deceive and underachieve, this team. I wonder if they're going to finally get it right this time around. They lost in the heats in the last wars of LEGO Wars. bringing that hammer saw down. They're up against top opposition here in King B Cubed, a machine that never gives up, never dies, never breaks down, and never retreats either. And it has some good pushing power. It's got some good speed behind it as well, although at the moment they're doing a bit of a handstand, and that allows Scorpios to get underneath and pin the number 12 Cs against the arena side wall, and now bringing down that hammer saw, hoping to do damage to the top of the machine, but it didn't. If anything, King B Cubed held up very well there actually. Now nipping across here to hit the pitch release button. It didn't go down on that occasion on the second one though, and Scorpios were a little bit lucky that it didn't get caught out by the pit. They were lucky it didn't go down the first time. Now bringing the hammer saw down again after they pinned King B Cubed into the arena side wall and knocking off their own rear panel. That wasn't very clever, was it, lads? Come on, you meant to be better than that. What are King B Cubed doing? Why are they climbing over the pit release button? They've managed to get themselves stuck on there now, and that surely will leave them an open target for Scorpios and that frightening hammer saw. Look, they can't get down from there. Scorpios coming over for a little bit of a nudge. They finally get themselves free, but they get pitted. And that was a very good victory for Scorpios and a very dumb loss for King B Cubed. King B Cubed practically gifted Scorpios that win on a silver platter. Scorpios certainly were in control throughout the most part and the more aggressive, so had it gone to the judges, I do think they probably would have won anyway. But the fact that King B Cubed, after being pinned into the arena sidewall here, decided to climb over the pit release button and get themselves stuck, making themselves a huge target, and it was all too easy and all too tempting for Scorpios to scoop them up and dump them.
Maybe not the destruction Scorpios wanted, but their redemption campaign has started strongly with 3 points. Thwack has now been stitched back together after their earlier split and will look for more points against their fellow last place Switchback.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
I think this fight is going to be absolutely balmy. We've got thwacking a robot known for being a lunatic, and Switchback, a machine renowned for having a very unique, interesting weapon. I'm expecting carnage and chaos here, and that's exactly what we're getting straight away. Thwacking bouncing all around the arena like a ping pong ball on steroids. Can thwacking bring that spinning Discades into play and make it do something useful for a change? Can Switchback get the spinning drum to actually do some damage against his opponent here? Good driving then by Switchback, pinning the crazy whacking machine into the corner. And a good little hit there from the drum, though not much damage was done. Thwacking being aggressive and bringing their weapon down. Good little fight brewing out here between these two. Wasn't really expecting that, actually. I was expecting a little bit more of a chaotic, weird fight, but hey, I'll take it. I'll take a good fight when I get one. Good little hit there by Switchback, and that was once again taking out the weapon chain of Thwacking, and they really do need to sort that issue out as they go flying around the arena there now. Spinning on the spot madly. Switchback goes to the pit button, and down goes Thwacking and caught by the pit. Good tactics there by the BattleBots machine, and they get 3 points. Well done. Shame that fight ended so abruptly, really. It was a good little tussle up to that point. Switchback for me with a more controlled and aggressive throw. They definitely had the more effective weapon as well. Thwacking and spinner, let's be honest, is hardly a spinner, is it really? And after that little shot there wasn't really much Thwacking could do as they span around aimlessly and then fell down the pit. Switchback could be one to watch out for in this heat.
A good show from the Orange Beast as they now move to the top of the table. Their stay will only be brief though, as Scorpios are now back in action against Megalovania.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
So a battle of the two spinners of the blue variety. Megalovania driving backwards into the arena sidewall. Now they're the seeds, don't forget, in this battle. Seeded 13th. They performed well last year. This year, they performed decently against Thwacking, and so far they managed to split them in half, but they did still have to win that fight via the judges, don't forget, and they did have a lot of control problems throughout. Hopefully they've sorted those issues out at the moment. Scorpios pinning them against the screws, now releasing them. A little bit of a hit there, something went flying off. I think that was off of Scorpios, so that weapon of Megalovania has certainly done some damage so far. The issues I think there are with Megalovania aren't with its weapon, but are with its drive. It's slow, it's trundling along. Meanwhile, is Scorpios again? Yes, it is. Yes, they do manage to move. Off comes a piece of Scorpios there. Megalovania certainly having the more effective weapon at the moment. In fact, I think Scorpios' weapon has been completely disarmed here. They're not bringing that hammer saw down, are they? It's spinning, yes, but it's not coming down. Megalovania getting some major good hits in now with that bar spinner of theirs. So I'd have to say they're on top. There's a little flick there from the hammer saw of Scorpios, but it didn't really do anything. It was a missed attack. The pit button has been pressed. Megalovania very, very close to it. And we know that they have control problems and control issues. And is it only a matter of time until they end up down the pit? Or is it only a matter of time until they end up being counted out because they're barely moving? What's happened? A little twitch there from the wheel. But that wasn't a lot of movement. It wasn't out of its circumference and they're being counted out here. What on earth has happened to Megalovania? It's not working properly. It's hitting the arena sidewall. It can't get away from there. And they have been counted out. That is a huge surprise. The number 13 seed just lost by a KO, and Scorpios have managed to gain themselves 3 points by hardly doing anything, really. And now getting themselves stuck on the pit. Oh, well done, guys. Well done. Huge upset, that one. Megalovania didn't really get going again. It seemed to have issues with its drive. Yes, the weapon did hit hard and did do some serious damage, but without a decent bit of drive behind your machine, your weapon is essentially a useless weapon. And that's exactly what Scorpios proved here. They used good control and good tactics to get Megalovania in there, and then it died. Very odd.
As Megalovania grinds to a disappointing halt, Scorp takes the lead going into the second half. King Bee is up next, hoping to bounce back from their last fight as they look to push thwacking to the brink.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
I bet King BQ, they're happy to be fighting thwacking here. It's an ideal machine for them to go up against. A loopy, weird thing with a high ground clearance and lots of easily snaggable bits for those lifting forks. And again, it is a flat machine, King BQ, and thwacking could very well take advantage of that. They're going to try and bring that spinner in. Or maybe not, because the weapon belt is already broken on. They really must sort that out, mustn't they? King BQ now pushing thwacking against you in the side wall, trying to get those lifting forks underneath to pluck them off the floor. Didn't manage to do so on that occasion. thwacking coming in now, trying to get their arms, I guess, hit to the top of King BQ. That's the only real thing they can do now. Use it as a more, I guess you could say, classic thwack bot. Use the weapon arm as their main weapon instead of the spinner itself. King BQ trying to get those little forks in once again. Nearly did so on that occasion, but thwacking able to wriggle free. That's one thing that I do like about thwacking. It may be a bit weird and it may be a bit zany, but it's very difficult to get a hold of, and that there is a strong point for the machine, although it is being pinned into the arena corner now by King BQ. And again, King BQ now finally getting on these. A beautiful attack there by King BQ, but thwacking able to wriggle themselves free. This is what I mean by King BQ, not King BQ, sorry, thwacking being able to just wiggle out of any situation it faces. And I will admit, it does hit very, very hard. What on earth has happened here to King BQ? What's happened to King BQ? Is it immobile? Have they stopped under no pressure whatsoever? Have thwacking managed to get themselves a jammy 3 points? King BQ being counted out here. I cannot believe my eyes. thwacking. Oh, wait, no! King BQ, a sudden lunge forwards. And that, I believe, was enough. I think what happened this, look, you can see it there. King BQ got caught on thwacking weapon chain. And because of that, they couldn't get away. Now backing away again, but they've gone over that chain once again. And that has definitely hindered their drive. And that means now they're a sitting target for thwacking whacking arm. thwacking all of a sudden, out of nowhere, on top in this battle. They were losing early on, but they've definitely made up for it now, and King BQ are going to have to work hard here in order to get back. They're not gaining the main purchase that they were earlier, though. Look, that chain is still giving them issues, courtesy of thwacking, and so maybe that was their tactic. Lose the weapon chain and use it as a snagging device. I'm only joking, I have no idea what they were planning, really. thwacking and driving into the screws. Meanwhile, King BQ right on the verge of the pit here, and a well-placed shove from thwacking and could see the number 12 seeds down the pit, especially now they backed up over the edge of it. What on earth are they doing? Why isn't thwacking going in for the kill here? Well, they had a perfect chance to take advantage, and they chose not to. They chose to ignore it. Why did they do that? Were they playing it safe and they worried they might throw themselves down there? Goodness me, speaking of which, they very nearly did. It's going to go to the judges. And being honest, he shouldn't have really got that far. thwacking had many a chance to get rid of King BQ and didn't. It's going to go to the judges, and I'm not too sure what way this one's going to go. Good fight, though. King BQ certainly bossed the earlier parts of that battle, pushing thwacking around, using better control and good aggression. He managed to break the weapon chain there, look, as well. Even pinned them in the corner a couple of times and very nearly managed to lift them into the air there. But then they got caught on that weapon chain, and they were immobilized for a long time. That will certainly count against it, and thwacking got lots of damage and aggression points there, as well as control points towards the end. King BQ were all over the place, and thwacking certainly finished that battle on top for me.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, is thwacking. Despite losing their chain very early on, Thwack takes the 2 JD points to pull themselves above the seeds in a very competitive heat. Now it's on Megalovania to restart their stuttering campaign against Switchback.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Interesting battle here. These two machines have had 1 loss and 1 win apiece, so everything to play for here for some much needed points. Switchback currently have more points than Megalovania due to their KO win against thwacking earlier. Meanwhile, Megalovania, who also beat thwacking had to win by the judges. So the Seeds are actually in a lot of trouble here. They could potentially be going out in the heat if they improve themselves here in this battle. Can we see that spinning drum of Switchbacks doing some major damage here? No, not on the evidence of that. I'll tell you what, I'll be interested to see how well that lifter of theirs works. Saw it earlier against King B Cubed. Oh dear, Megalovania driving straight to the side. Well, that was terrible control from them. As I mentioned earlier, we saw Switchback lift King B Cubed, but they did lose that battle against King B Cubed. So they're hoping again, like I said, to get some much needed points here. Although they do have 4 on the board, 3 plus the 1 point for that judge's loss. Megalovania's spinner doesn't seem to be working as well as it could, and that was a good little lift there by Switchback once again. For me, Switchback are on top at the moment. They've been the more controlled, the more aggressive, and they've certainly had the more effective weapon of these two. It may not be the main weapon of theirs, but that lifter of theirs has been very effective thus far. Oh, that was a big hit there, though, from Megalovania. That was one of the best hits we've seen from Megalovania in this heat so far, and Switchback has lost a wheel. We saw that earlier against King B Cubed. Oh, another big hit there from Megalovania, and I think Switchback's drum has been damaged. It's certainly not spinning as well as it was. It's shaking around, it's rattling around as well. Another hit there from Megalovania, and all of a sudden Megalovania, it's much quicker than it's been in the last few fights, and it's got a lot more control. It does seem to have sorted out and fixed the issues that it did have. Switchback is wobbling all around the arena here. Oh, another huge hit there, takes off another wheel of Switchbacks, and a side panel as well. And Switchback is all of a sudden looking very frail, and Megalovania seems to have finally woken up in this heat. And this is the resurgence of this machine. Can they get the kill shot on Switchback, or is Switchback just mobile enough to continue? It is at the moment, but they lost another wheel, and surely now that's it for Switchback. There's no way they can come back from here unless they can continue somehow moving out of their circumference, which I think, to be honest, they are doing. Look, yes, they are moving enough out of their circumference to be considered mobile. Can Megalovania take out that 4th and final wheel, or will Switchback manage to do this crab walking technique of theirs to get to the judges? Megalovania causing damage to itself now. That's surely a design flaw, managing to destroy yourself as well as your opponent. Can Switchback survive? It's going to survive. It's going to go to the judges somehow, some way, and once again, Megalovania has managed to fail to KO its opponent. And that is certainly something that we have to watch out for as this series continues. Great to see Megalovania waking up here, but it isn't still quite as deadly as it was in the last wars, at least not to me. Switchback certainly started the battle the stronger, in my opinion, and were on top. They were the more controlled, they had the more effective weapon, they were the more aggressive. But Megalovania slowly but surely started coming back. They finally seem to have ironed out those little wrinkles and those issues that they had, and that spinner of theirs performed excellently in the latter half of this fight, causing horrendous damage to Switchback. Ouch.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, is Megalovania. A brilliant piece of strategy from the 13th seeds to break the egg beater, but whether they will rue missing the KO remains to be seen. Scorpios, meanwhile, has a chance to wrap up the top spot if they beat thwacking in a rematch from last year. These two fought in the heats last year in a frenetic encounter that Scorp only just claimed the win. However, the point that thwacking took pulled them above the hammersaw into the bracket, so let's see if this time is more decisive.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
thwacking getting their spinning saw up to speed and completely missing their chance. Well, fantastic to see. Scorpios trying to get their hammer saw spinning up to speed, and does so, and now brings it down. Although I think I saw a weapon belt go there now. Is that off thwacking, and was that off of Scorpios? I think it was off of thwacking, and we haven't seen that spinner there spin up since, although we haven't seen Scorpios spin up since either. Are both weapons dead here? If so, we could be seeing the ultimate thwack fest. The thwacking arm of Thwacking and that sort of hammering arm of Scorpios. Good job by Scorpios here to pin Thwacking into the screws. I'm not really too sure what those screws could do to Thwacking. He's got very big wheels. He can drive away from them and outmaneuver them quite easily. Scorpios without a weapon. Thwacking without a weapon. I was not expecting this at the beginning of this fight. I honestly thought Scorpios would have this easily, but Thwacking could be in with a chance here to win if they can keep their control and their aggression at bay. The issue is Scorpios is a very, very well-driven machine, and because of that, we could well be seeing Scorpios outmaneuver Thwacking and getting down the pit. The pit has been opened, of course, and Thwacking slamming on the anchor. Good control by them there to stay away from that pit. I tell you what, as this heat has progressed, their driving has definitely got better. They've gone from being a complete lunatic to being quite a calculated machine now, but being pinned in against the sidewall again by Scorpios, who are bringing their weapon down almost like a hammer now rather than a hammer saw. Not managing to do much though. Scorpios has taken some damage there, courtesy of Thwacking and Thwacking again near the pit, but were able to get away. Good aggression there again by Thwacking. Good fight this actually. I tell you what, you take the weapons out of the machines and all of a sudden they become very, very well evenly matched robots, don't they? We could very well see an upset here if Thwacking can get a judge's win. I'm not too sure that will happen. Scorpios, very well designed, very sturdy, very well built. They've certainly come back better this time around and are making up for previous injustices, I guess you could say, and previous defeats. Thwacking are not giving him an easy win here though, and are definitely fighting back and fighting back strong. This is a very close, hard-fought fight, tooth and nail between these two robots, isn't it? Thwacking being pushed towards the pit again, managing to survive. Very good control once again by Thwacking, and I tell you what, if they don't win this fight, you've got to give them credit. They've certainly improved as this heat has gone on. If you had told me this was happening after their first fight against Megalovania, I would have laughed in your face, but they've done a great job of keeping their machine under control against one of the best driven machines in this series of LEGO Wars. Scorpios pinning them into the side wall, and unless something significant happens in the next 6 seconds, this is going to go to the judges, and that is a surprise in itself to me. Both machines putting on a fantastic show there. They both nearly went down the pit at the end as well. Great stuff. Terrific battle, that one. That there was the moment where both Thwacking and Scorpios' weapon belts came off of their spinners, and after that it became a very tactical control fest of a fight. For me, Scorpios might have just swung it on control and aggression, but I'm honestly not too sure. And you have to give Thwacking credit. They didn't give up without a fight. They gave Scorpios one heck of a fight to win there. Brilliant battle. Let's see what way the judges think it went.
And the winner, by split decision, is Thwacking. A very close decision as Thwacking gets a 2-point lifeline to force a decider between the seeds. Scorpios, meanwhile, are guaranteed a spot in the bracket going into their final fight with Switchback as both fight at first position.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Interesting battle this one. Not only is it a battle between two BattleBots machines, but it's between two machines with a spinner on a raising and lifting arm of some sort. Good pushing there by Switchback against Scorpios. Scorpios, of course, very well driven, a legend of BattleBots, a long-time veteran of robot combat and of LEGO Wars as well. They disappointed us last time around, but they've definitely performed better this year. Meanwhile, Switchback in their first LEGO Wars season, they also have a little bit of experience in BattleBots, not as much as Scorpios, so they will be the underdogs going into this one, despite the fact neither of these machines are seeded for this tournament. Scorpios really ought to be, shouldn't it? Let's be honest now, with the experience that they have in LEGO Wars, but they've never managed to deliver, unfortunately, which is a shame. Both these machines sort of feeling each other out here at the moment, being a little bit tentative perhaps. Switchback hitting the pit release button. Scorpios lucky to get away there when they did. Now Switchback trying to bring that spinning drum into play. We haven't really seen any devastating hits or much damage done by that drum. I must admit, that's been a little bit of a disappointment on Switchback. I've been much more impressed by the lifting mechanism of theirs. It's certainly an effective lifter, and it's certainly an effective control bot because of that lifter, but that weapon, there's that main weapon, that drum, hasn't really done much. Scorpios, meanwhile, pinning them in now against the side wall, Can they bring their spinner down? Yes, but they didn't do much damage to Switchback. It's well armoured. It's a heavily armoured machine. Good push there by Scorpios again. Pushing Switchback backwards. Switchback in the corner. Can they get away from that corner and come back here against Scorpios? Yes, they were able to push away. Very tentative battle, this one, like I said. Both of them was almost speeding each other out. Maybe a little bit of respect between the two teams because of their BattleBots repertoire and reputations. Can Scorpios get that vicious spinning hammer down and do some serious damage to Switchback? Not on that attempt. Switchback now raising their drum in the air, almost like a sort of war pose, really, and if anything, have given Scorpios a free shot there. That was terrible control, and the judges will definitely have taken note of that. That was awful control by the Switchback team. They left themselves open for a violent attack there from Scorpios, and we're lucky that Scorpios didn't really capitalise on it. Down comes that spinning hammer saw of theirs again over the wheels. The wheels of Switchback have seemed to have lasted in this battle. Then again, it's not over until the fat lady sings. And she doesn't start singing for at least another 30 seconds, I'm sure. Scorpios, for me, are on top at the moment. Or are they? What's happened here to their weapon arm? It seems to be down, and I don't think they can retract that weapon now. They are lucky it's happened when it happened. If it happened early on in the battle, they could very well have been in trouble. But cease called, and is it me or is Switchback dead at the end there as well? I'm not too sure what's going on here. The judges are going to have to sort it out. They're the brains, not me. Very close, tentative battle, that one. Scorpios did get pushed around a little bit by Switchback, but no major damage is really done throughout. For me, Scorpios were more aggressive and more controlled. Neither robot really did any damage to the other. That there was quite a big moment. Control was certainly on Scorpios' side, but then their weapon arm died. Will that be decisive? I honestly haven't got a clue.
And the winner by unanimous decision is Scorpios. The redemption is complete for Scorpios as they take first overall, while Switchback claim another point to pile on the pressure on this final fight. At this present moment, both seeds are on their way out, and the wrong result could still confirm this, so let's see who can claw their way back in.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
So, as usual, our two-seeded machines finish things off in this heat. King B Cubed versus Megalovania, and King B Cubed with a great attack there, and Megalovania straight away getting underneath the high ground clearance, lifting it up, and Megalovania is now stuck on its side panel, but King B Cubed righting them. Now that was a bit daft. They are desperate for a win here, King B Cubed, as are Megalovania. The two-seeded machines of this heat currently sit at the bottom of the board. They both need a win, and a good one at that, if they have any hopes of making it into the bracket later on this series. How many people watching this would have thought that at the beginning of this heat? Because I certainly didn't. Oh, huge hit there from Megalovania, causing damage to the top panel of King B Cubed. King B Cubed with another lift in on Megalovania. Megalovania driving into the side wall. I thought they managed to sort out their control issues, but obviously not. They're stopping and starting, driving into the side panels. But, to be fair, that spinner of theirs is certainly doing all the main talking at the moment, causing huge damage to King B Cubed again, but they've been pinned into the sidewall again by King B Cubed. Can King B Cubed get another lift in like they did earlier and get Megalovania stuck on its side? If they can, it's a guaranteed KO victory. Is Megalovania okay here? Yes, it seems to be. King B Cubed hitting the pit release button. Megalovania fidgeting around a little bit. Not too much movement, though. They seem to be having control problems once again here. The number 13 seeds. They're on the verge of the pit and down, courtesy of King B Cubed. They get 3 points, and that will guarantee them a place in the bracket. And Megalovania, they're out. What a shame for Megalovania, our number 13 seeds, already out of the tournament, but King B Cubed, so well driven, so expertly driven, in fact, in that battle. Yes, they did take damage courtesy of that spinner of Megalovania, but they were able to outmaneuver them, outdrive them, and lift them several times throughout that fight. And despite taking a few hits, they eventually got the pit down and then dumped Megalovania out of the competition.
The old bot lives to fight another day as Megalovania becomes the biggest name not to make the bracket. It's been an incredibly close night of action in the arena, with every robot doing their utmost to secure a place in the bracket, but it was Scorpios emphatically taking overall glory and King Bee keeping their potential farewell tour going, while thwacking Megalovania can only think of what might have been. That's all from us tonight, but join us next time as the Tempest Detour back for more Polka Dot Mayhem alongside the prideful spinner Fab Jeffrey. For now though, I've been your host David the Smeg, and we'll see you in the next one.
It's so much more controllable now.
I mean, it's got speed. That was recorded as well. That's the best part.
That's going in the post-credits, isn't it?